Invasion ended with an action-packed episode. That's great, but it took all 10 episodes of season 2 to get a little bit of excitement. It's the only decent paced episode in the entire series. That means they're batting 1 for 19. How should they fix it? Well, I have a few ideas. Roll the intro. First, let me restate. I like Invasion. I wouldn't have gotten to episode 20 if I didn't. I think the premise of the show is very interesting, and I think that the actors are doing their best with the limited dialogue that they've been given. Like I said before, the pacing of the show is like getting stuck on a ride at Disneyland while an animatronic Indiana Jones opens and closes a door over and over and over and over and over again. Why couldn't he just keep the door closed? Anyways, how to fix Invasion. First, let's catch up. First thing you gotta remember is that there are 4 different storylines happening at one time. And whenever I say one time, I mean it's all happening at the same time. Technically, there's still Sheriff Jim Bell Tyson and Ida Bell, but we only got one episode with Sam Neill. I was hoping to see him all tranced out in the finale, but I guess he's not coming back. I wonder if they created the characters Rose and Billy to make sure that we cared about what's happening to those people because they couldn't get good old Dr. Grant to come back. Sorry, producer brain. Anyways, if you think this show can't be saved, you're wrong. In season 1, they really took their time to flesh out the characters. Casper is this kid with adult problems. He has good friends, but he's brutally bullied by this kid named Monty. His home life is even worse, and on top of all of that, he has horrible seizures. Like I said, adult problems. Come to find out, his seizures are connected to the aliens and he might be our best chance against them, if he can control it. The first time he does it, it puts him into a coma, but that only worked because he had the help of a jaded Navy SEAL who left with Casper's notebook. He eventually wakes up to find a group of children that have the same connection as him, and he begins to work with the governments of the world to plan an attack on the mothership. Javante is a tortured Navy SEAL that is running from the death of his son and the implosion of his marriage. After being the sole survivor of his team, he travels from the Middle East to London.
There's nothing, the world's over.
Where he helps a kid named Casper and a girl named Jamila hold off the alien attackers while Casper figures out how to focus his powers. After that victory, he finds his way home where he leaves the military to pursue the clues that he's finding in Casper's notebook. Most people are beginning to think that he's crazy or at least suffering from PTSD, which I think he probably is.
Do you hear me? Look at me! Look at me!
He finds a clue that leads him to Ida Bell, Oklahoma, where he meets Rose and finds his way into a military base located at the original alien site. Through some arrests, asking, and then eventually just being the only option, he goes on the mission to the mothership.
Guess we're partners again, huh?
A little different this time.
Anisha is a super strong mother with a medical degree from Harvard. Her husband is 100% a coward. This world-ending event is just getting in the way of him abandoning his family. But she puts herself in charge and does a pretty good job considering her son Luke is another kid with this connection to the aliens and has a shard that can be used against them. When the military finds out about him and the shard, they start to try to hunt them all down. So she teams up with the Movement, a militia group fighting against the government for some reason that I don't really understand. They're eventually caught, and it turns out Luke would have been a huge help against the aliens this entire time. Okay, one more. Mitsuki is a communications expert in Japan, where they aren't very accepting of her sexuality. She's in love with the lead astronaut at JAXA, but her space shuttle is destroyed in the first wave of attacks. Mitsuki swears she can hear her in the transmissions from the invaders, and through her love for Hinata and Hinata's love for Mitsuki, she's able to form her own mental bond with the aliens, eventually being taken to a lab where she uses that connection to communicate with them. She finds out that the entity inside the ship isn't necessarily an alien, it's a portal, and she's able to hold that portal open, but at the cost of her mind. She holds it open just long enough to send Javante through, but seems to fall into a vegetative state. Hey, I heard aliens don't attack Blake's World subscribers. Just another layer of protection. Alright, let's get back to the video. Now that we've talked about all that, I gotta say that a lot actually happens, but the pacing is so slow that it feels like nothing is going on. So first, let's speed up events. No more slow coffee scenes or watching someone go through depression. We can look in the mirror for that. At least I can. Mitsuki has such an important role in the finale, but after watching her wallow in her emo-ness for 2 seasons only to unceremoniously get turned into a vegetable, I mean, save us the time and make her entire story into 1 episode at the beginning of season 2, then bring her back for the finale to save the day. A great example is the Bill episode in The Last of Us. He got 1 episode, then they moved on. Bill's entire existence was contained in that episode, and it's arguably the best one of the series so far. Another thing is they're not rolling out enough of these secrets. This is the same thing that happened with Lost. I'm starting to care less about Wajo and why the aliens are attacking. We need answers before you pose more questions, if that makes sense. Next thing, and I already said this in the finale breakdown, it's time to end the 8th grade love triangle between Casper, Jamila, and Monty.
It's about you being with her. Because you love Jamila. And that's alright. You don't have to take it out on me just because she doesn't love you back.
It's lame and it's not interesting. I guess now you have to end it, so I'd like to see Monty's arc reach a climax where he sacrifices himself for his sister. Not Jamila and not Casper. The most endearing part of Monty's character is how great he is with Penny. I think that would be a great way to get us out of this messy triangle and leaving Jamila not to have to make a decision. Now, I do understand what Apple's doing. They want to start bringing you streaming content but at the same quality of a network show. Shows like Lost, Criminal Minds, Falling Skies. These are good shows, but the graphics and scripts are set up for the networks to be able to pull the plug at will. To me, Invasion is at that level of quality. The aliens are scary, but the CGI doesn't quite fit the surroundings. And I'm fine with all that. Honestly, I am. Just move the show along. Every episode needs some revelation or everyone's gonna start jumping ship. Do you think they can save Invasion? Comment below. Hey everyone, I'm stuck in this box until we get to 10,000 subscribers. Please help me get out of the box. Please. Please.